I'm here with Dr. Deepak Pandey, and he's my companion right now in the Himalayas. We're visiting various pilgrimage places, particularly Buddhist monasteries. He's a very renowned scholar, and I've learned a lot from him on this trip. And I'll let him say a few things about his background before we can start our discussion, which I assure you will be very illuminating and I should say enlightening. Just mention a few of your credentials.
Namaskar. I'm Dr. Deepak Pandey. I have studied history and both ancient, medieval, and modern history from University of Delhi, and I have done PhD. Basically, I have interest in history and Sanskrit. I like to study Upanishada, Veda, and related aspects of Hindu philosophy. And here we will discuss on these aspects only. Thank you.
So, Dr. Pandey is also a scholar of Sanskrit history, and as we travel in the Himalayas by road, we've been having very interesting discussions. And it all started actually when I asked him a simple question because I haven't been able to get an answer through Wikipedia or ChatGPT or any of the online sources. I asked him a simple question, and the question was, what are the origins of language? Because it's pretty much unknown in the West anyway. And language is what allows us to create human constructs. As you know, I've been talking a lot about the universe being a human construct, money being a human construct, nation states being a human construct, latitude, longitude being a human construct, Wall Street, financial institutions. Without language, we would not have what we call the experience of the human universe, the human planet, and the human interpretation of fundamental reality. Language, in a way, conceives, constructs, and then gives us access to models of reality. So, this is the question I asked him, and he immediately went into a detailed discussion on the sounds of nature that actually ultimately become what we call language. And in this discussion, we also had some very enlightening discussion on sounds of nature, language, and mantra. So, बताएं अंग्रेजी में आप he speaks
Yes.
Sanskrit, Hindi, and English. So I asked him to expound in English.
Thank you. In fact, the origin of sound is very interesting. In fact, Sarangadev in Sangeet Ratnakar, the book he has written on music, he tells that everything originates from alphabets, the Sabd and Nad. And he tells that that Nad comes from outer universe, or you can say universe. There are two words, Nad and Sabd, and it is normally it is translated into sound, but it is not sound. Nad is not sound, Sabd is not sound. It is beyond that. What we call sound, what we humans hear, is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, and that we can hear, and that we call sound, which we can manifest. But there are some animals, there are some beings who can hear the sound lower than 20 hertz, and there are some beings who can hear sound higher than 20,000 hertz. Therefore,
ultrasonic, infrasonic, supersonic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Therefore, explaining everything from the point of view of humans is very narrow vision for explaining sound. In fact, There are, it is said that in Upanishada, it is said that there are two type of sound or vibration. Here you will be using vibration and sound as a synonym, but as I explained earlier, sound is not sabd or nad. It is very narrow term, but for sake of our audience, we will be using sound or vibration. There are two type of sound. One is anahat and second is ahat. Anahat is that sound which have not been produced by any being or any vibration, like the universal sound, which NASA has several videos, and you can hear the sound of universe. And it is very interesting that our forefather, the rishis, who were mantra drishta, who could visualize the mantras and who could visualize the sound of universe in their deep meditation, they were able to decipher that sound, the universal sound, the anahat sound, and they, in deep meditation, they received that sound, and that sound was Om.
Om.
Yes, Om has three components. It is A, U, and Mo. And A, when you produce A, it starts from your navel. When you say U, it vibrates your lung area, heart area. And when you call it vibrates your throat and other uh, part of your mouth. And they, when these are basic sounds.
And also goes.
Yes, yes. Goes from throat to whole brain. This vibrates your whole system, nervous system and everything. These are three basic sounds which created all other sounds which we use in our language. And this sound came from the universe, that anahat sound. We humans...
Anahat means unheard.
Yes, unheard. Unheard or
hat. In ordinary consciousness.
Hat, in Sanskrit, hat means marna, to hurt, to beat something. A sound without any beating, without any vibration is called anahat.
But the rishis heard it in...
Yes, they heard in their deep meditation.
Okay. Is that what we call Shruti?
Yes, yes, you can say. That's why Vedas are called Shruti.
Okay.
That's why this energy or vibration came from the universe.
Okay.
That universal sound of...
Okay. Yeah. And then it somehow, you're saying, from this Om are derived all the letters of the alphabet.
Yes, yes, yes. So, that sound, these three basic sounds created all other sound. And other alphabets, be in Sanskrit, be in Hindi, be in any other language. These all letters are created, or the sound of that letter are created using U, A, and Mo. These are the basic, like in painting, we use RGB, red, green, blue. And similarly in printing, we use CMYK. Similarly, the sound which we produce are based on different formulation, combination or permutation of A, U, and Mo.
Okay, now that led to the alphabet, which you have explained actually vibrates different parts of our body.
Yes.
And ultimately is the origin of the mantras as well.
Yes, yes.
So please explain these different sounds like on and on, the whole sequence.
In Sanskrit, there are various letters used to denote various sounds. And like the Sanskrit alphabet starts from Ka, and Ka is produced from Kant, the throat. That's why it is called Kanthya Ban. Means Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Anga, and Ha, and Visarg also. And one interesting aspect about Ha is that it is also called Usmak. When you produce Ha, you can try it. Ha, you can feel the heat on your palm. And that's why it is called Usmak. It produces heat. But it is Kanthabhya, means it is being produced through the throat. And the second one is that cha, cha, ja, jha. It is called talu. Talu is the part just ahead of this throat. It is called talu, and you can produce cha, cha, ja, jha. Your tongue is hitting that area. Only then you can produce cha, cha, ja, jha. And the next one is murdha. Murdha is ta, tha, da, dha, na.
Where does that vibrate?
Murdha is the central part of your palate. The central part of your that floor of your mouth. Yes. All are produced through that murdha.
Okay.
And you, when you say ta, you can feel it. It hits directly here. Please produce ta, 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 ta. It is vibrating here. It is vibrating whole brain. That's why you must have heard that Tandav Sutra created by Ravana. It has maximum letters from this tavarg, that murdhanya varna, and that's why it creates a very energetic effect. It creates vibration in your whole body. That it is murdhanya varna. And next one is dante varna.
Dental.
Yes, using your teeth to produce when your lip is hitting, when your tongue is hitting the teeth, it is produced. These letters are produced like tha, tha, da, dha, na, la, and sa. Sa is dante sa. Dante sa is produced, and then next comes ostak. Using lip, in Sanskrit, lip is called ost. These are osthya varna. These are pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, u, and yes, you are using your lip and the tongue. These are called osthya, or you can produce using your lip and the tongue, combination of lip and tongue. And there are some combined. There are some letters which uses different combinations of these above mentioned things.
Let me try and summarize then. A, ka, kha, ga, gha, da, dha, or vimars. What is it? Visarg. These are kind of guttural. Huh?
Yes.
And then we said the talu sounds I, ch, ja, ja, etc.
Ya and
talabya. They are a little
using that palate.
And then as we go beyond that, there are labial sounds.
Yes,
dental.
murdha.
They're dental sounds, labial sounds. And if we use these sounds, we're basically vibrating every part of our body.
Yes. That's why it is called the mantra can be used to treat a problem in a human body or in body of any animal also.
So what you have actually explained is something that has puzzled me a long time, because space is related to sound in Vedic understanding. And I always thought space, when we look at this space, you need the vibration of the atmosphere to produce the sound.
Yes.
But that depends on a very limited band of space, which we know as physical space.
Yes.
And that physical space in Sanskrit is referred to as bhutakash.
Yes.
But then there is mental space when you hear the sound, and yet there's no vibration to speak of.
Yes.
I remember a song.
Yes.
I remember a mantra.
Yes.
That's called chitakash.
Yes.
And then there is mahadakash, which includes all three.
Yes.
And so bhutakash, chitakash, and mahadakash is the sound field, you said.
Yes.
And this sound field is related to what we call the Mahabhuta of space.
Yes. Very true.
That is the correspondence.
Very true.
And from here, then are derived the mantras.
Yes.
And even the Bij mantras that we use, we use primordial sound mantras in our teaching
Yes.
at the Chopra Center. And these Bij mantras, 108 or whatever,
Yes.
they too actually are sounds of the universe which help us go back to the source of all sounds.
Yes.
Chit Vritti Nirodh
Yes.
through the Bij mantra. So
Yes,
that's the basis
Yes.
of what we call primordial sound or Bij mantra, or which I use ultimately to even experience samadhi.
In fact, in Upanishad, it is said, Nad is also called Brahma. That sound field is also called Brahma.
Brahma.
And
Nada Brahman. The universe is Brahman.
When you master when you perceive in its complete form, the Nada Brahma, only then you can travel to Param Brahma, that ultimate truth, the ultimate energy, or whatever name you call it.
So, my friends, so far what we've discussed is how language came through nature. Without language, no human universe, no chat GPT, no nothing, no math, nothing that we can communicate with, no construct without language. And what you've heard so far is that the origins of this language, at least according to Vedic science, is in nature. Nature vibrates, but nature actually has many other vibrations that the human species can't experience, other species can. A bat can experience ultrasound. Whales, I believe, communicate through infrasonic. Elephants also have different frequencies of sounds ranges which we can't hear. But all this is part of the soundscape, which is the sound field, which is the field that then translates into everything that we call creation. So from this now, we want to move to the next level that we would discuss.
One interesting thing I would like to also add, since you started this talk with the objective that how this sound is produced. Either it came from the universe, it is fixed that this sound field, and then anahat and ahat. When we are speaking, how we are producing these sounds.
Yes.
And in our ancient literature, Sanskrit literature, there are 4 stages of production of sound.
Correct.
There are
Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama.
Yes. And then para starts from Muladhara chakra.
I see.
The end of your spinal cord.
Base chakra.
Yes. And that is the base chakra.
First chakra.
From there, your vital energy, when you, there is a consciousness that, yes, I have to produce a sound.
Okay.
That consciousness creates movement of vital energy through your, this cord, spinal cord. Spinal cord.
Kundali.
Yes, through your nadi moves
Brahma
up.
nadi.
Yes, it Sushumna nadi. It moves up, and at the next level is Pashyanti. Pashyanti is the navel level.
Yes.
Here the energy is arranged from where this for vibrating that part of your body. This energy is arranged at this level. Then comes the Madhyama level at your heart level. And here the vibrations are produced using your Visuddhi chakra. That Bakhari means actual sound is produced through when the heart or your lung pushes up the air, your Visuddhi chakra gets vibration, and then the sound is produced.
So what you've just heard, Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vekhari, is the sequential unfoldment of sound from the unmanifest to the manifest.
Yes.
So
it is not like that air and lung are being used to produce sound. It is not that mechanical.
Yeah. So it
is beyond that.
Yes.
It is beyond that.
So Para is unmanifest. Pashyanti is now the organization.
Yes, we are perceiving it. That's what type of sound I am going to produce.
Yeah. Then Madhyama is now creating the vibration.
Creating the situation, arranging the energy and creating that atmosphere, organizing it.
And then here Vakari.
The execution
manifest.
part. The execution part.
There you get it. The creation through sound, Nada Brahman.
Yes.
And this was where we were going to go from here.
Yes. We can go to mantra chikitsa,
Yes.
because it is very much effective, and although there are various branches of psychology, now they are calling it parapsychology, but as your foundation is doing a lot of work on consciousness and relation with mind, body and the universe, and therefore we must talk about the mantra chikitsa.
Okay, before you do that, we had a study on this.
Yes.
2012 or so, where we had a course for about 1 week, where people were practicing mantra, Bij mantras. At the end of that 1 week, all the genes that are responsible for self-regulation, homeostasis, healing, they went up, some 17 over baseline. Level of telomerase, which is the enzyme that controls telomeres, yes, and the length of life, also went up by 40%. All the genes responsible for inflammation, disease, or associated, let's say, with inflammation, disease, chronic illness, Alzheimer's, they went down, even genes associated with cancer. Now we understand this is both epigenetics, but also we call it neuroplasticity.
Yes, yes.
That you can change the landscape of the brain,
yes,
through sound.
Yes.
And what you're saying, mantra is one of the most effective ways to change.
In fact, recently there is one term has been coined. It is called Sanskrit effect. And one Dr. James Hartgel of University of Toronto in Italy, and Dr. Tanmay Nath and Nandini Chatterjee saying of National Brain Research Center of India, which is located near our national capital Delhi, they studied the impact of recitation of this mantra, Vedic mantra, on the brain. And what they found, and there are other studies also, like Dr. Giridhar Kalam Mangalam and some other also studied the impact on the Vedic Pandit, and they all found that the region, brain region associated with cognitive functions such as memory, both short term and long term, it was found that that part become more dense, and the capacity to memorize the mantras and other things were greatly increased, and this change was permanent.
Yeah, this we call neurogenesis, which means increased number of neurons, and synaptogenesis.
Just by reciting mantra,
increased connection.
Just by reciting mantra, it is scientifically proven. That's why mantra chikitsa is very much scientific, but we don't have tools to observe it.
Well, now we are creating. Yes. We are going.
Your foundation is doing a lot of work
on this. In collaboration with my medical school, India Institute of Medical Sciences. We will be looking at the brain. We'll be looking at gene expression, what we call epigenetics, inflammation, and what we call the healing response, which is what you're calling mantra chikitsa, along with other modalities. Pranayam, yama, niyama, yoga, asana, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. We'll use all that. Mantra is very important, but you are going to say a few more words about mantra chikitsa.
Yes. There are 3 types of recitation of mantra. That is, in Sanskrit, it is called japa. Frequent or recitation of mantra for many times is called japa. There are 3 types. One is manatra, japa, and third one is vachik japa. Vachik japa is like we are talking, we are producing sound, and what I am saying, you can hear it.
So, like for example, let's take the Gayatri mantra.
Yes, like Om Bhurvuvah Swa Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. This I am producing the sound.
This is Vakari.
Yes, that is Vakari. And the second level comes. This is the next highest level. It is called Upansu. In Upansu, I'm just showing the example. I'm I will recite the same mantra which I did earlier, like
So you're whispering it.
yes, I am whispering it so that others cannot hear, but I am hearing it. I am hearing it with my full awareness, and I am visualizing the meaning also. And my tongue is moving, my lips are moving, all my vocal cord are moving, but I'm not producing the sound enough, strong enough to hear, to enable it to be heard by
And
others.
so this is referred to as
It is Upanshu.
Upanchu.
Upanshu. This is called Upanshu Japa. And it is more effective than the Vachik Japa,
Okay.
the sound producing Japa. And the third one is Manas Japa. Manas Japa is the highest form of Japa, where you recite this mantra in your mind and you visualize the meaning also of this mantra. And it is said that in our ancient literature, it is said that it produces 1,000 times more impact than Vachik Japa.
So when we teach primordial sound, Bij Mantra,
Yes.
we normally do not talk about the meaning because even the vibration carries the effect of
Yes,
the,
yes, yes,
of
yes.
the
Very
divine
much.
sound, right?
The visualizing meaning is very difficult.
Very
It
difficult.
is for not for normal men
Yes.
or women. It is for the a person who has evolved beyond a scale
Yeah. So,
and
so
who has practiced for years.
So just to clarify this, Bij Mantra, which is Mansik Mantra,
Yes,
without moving the lips, without
Yes.
moving the tongue,
yes,
only mentally reciting it, it actually competes with the other vrittis.
yes, yes,
And ultimately, when there is no mantra,
yes.
no
It
vritti,
leads to nothingness.
to samadhi.
Yes, to samadhi. To samadhi.
Transcendence.
Yes. When you do this manas japa,
Yeah.
it leads to samadhi. It
With-
connects you with the universe.
With the universe. Well, you've heard a very brief but very important discussion of the origins of language as actually an not I would say language is not a human creation. What we learned is language is part of the evolution of the cosmos.
Yes.
But as humans, we have a nervous system that can access both what we call vibrational sounds, which are part of the physical space. The physical space we call Bhutakash. Okay, but then there are sounds that do not vibrate in the physical perceptual activity that we call physical space. And these sounds are unheard except in deep meditation. And these sounds actually are not part of our normal experience. They are part of the Chitakash, the Akash of mental space. And then there's Mahadakash, which is infinite consciousness that actually differentiates both into mental space and physical space. Mental space, again, Chitakash, physical space, Bhutakash, Chitakash includes all mental, physical, and cosmic unmanifest space, Brahman, which vibrates.
Yes,
Nada
yes.
Brahman.
Yes,
as
yes.
the universe. Brahman
Yes.
becomes Brahman.
Yes, yes.
Any last words?
See, mantra or language or sound is very sensitive, and you can perceive it only when you start to dig into deeper into this science. It is pure science. It is not art. It is not imagination. It is pure science. But to understand, that's why it is called that if you want to study Upanishad, first you have to prepare yourself to receive those knowledge, those universal knowledge.
Smriti and Shruti.
Yes, Smriti and Shruti. Accordingly, to understand the concept of the mantra you can define that a certain set of frequency to create a desired effect on a being. That being can be universe, or your nearby environment. That being can be an animal or a plant, and that being can be a human being. That
My friends, what you heard is not part of our regular science, but it is my deepest desire and intention that with the help of scholars like Dr. Deepak Pandey, we can actually now document everything he's saying through imaging of the brain, through looking at gene activity, even markers like methylation, deacylation. We can look at inflammation. We can look at homeostasis. We can look at self regulation. We can look at healing, bringing a new science of healing to the world, which is what Ayurveda is. So Ayurveda is not only just science of healing, it's science of life, based on a very simple principle, yatha pinde tatha brahmande. As is the atom, so is the universe. As is the human body, so is the cosmic body. As is the human mind, so is the cosmic mind. As is human consciousness, ultimately has its source in cosmic consciousness. Jeev Atman is Brahman. So Jiva is you listening right now to this conversation. It is supported by Atman, which is pure consciousness, which is connected directly to Brahman, universal consciousness.
in last word, we can say to your audience that you start the journey through Nada Brahma to Param Brahma.
Nada Brahma, explain those two. Nada Brahma.
Nada Brahma is the supreme power which is manifested through vibrations,
I see.
consciousness.
Yes.
And this will lead to, this is the path, a true path to
Para.
to see the ultimate truth, that is Param Brahma.
Param.
Param Brahma.
Unmanifest.
Yes, unmanifested.
Unmanifest. Infinite, unmanifest, irreducible, formless, timeless, spaceless, irreducible, I said, but without which there is no experience of anything.
Yes.
The universe, colors, shapes, sounds, perceptions, ultimately comes from
Yes.
Parabrahman.
Yes, Param Brahma.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
What a pleasure.